Greetings on this Ash Wednesday. It's good to be with you today as we begin this sacred and special season of Lent. We start these 40 days with the centuries-old tradition of putting ashes on our forehead, although we had to modify our technique a bit this year. But it's a ritual that has great appeal for us. In normal years, we come to church in great numbers to receive this gritty reminder of our mortality and brokenness. I remember the years I used to work in the Loop and how I would be joined by thousands of Catholics lined up on the street outside the St. Peter's to receive our ashes. But as you and I move into this sacred season, I think we need to ask ourselves a question. How willing are we to line up for Lent and not just for ashes? The challenge before us is to embrace the work of Lent with as much enthusiasm as we embrace the opening ritual. This work is no easy task because the work of Lent is to transform our hearts and our lives. We have enough trouble trying to lose bad dietary or personal habits, let alone changing the way we think and act and treat those around us. Enthusiasm may be a bit hard to come by this time too, as we may feel worn down by the long pandemic, compounded by this lengthy stretch of cold and snow. But perhaps that's why, more than ever, you and I need to push back against the darkness within us and around us. By receiving today's ashes, whether literally or virtually, we make a personal commitment to draw closer to the Lord and to make our lives a better reflection of His kingdom. We make a commitment to live lives abounding in love, compassion, and generosity. If we approach it with a sense of trust in God's love and mercy, a well-lived Lent can lift us up from the depths of our trials and failings. We should see Lent as a chance for personal and spiritual growth, and not simply as a grueling test of our endurance. To help us make some progress in transforming our lives, the Church traditionally urges us to rededicate ourselves to the practices of prayer, fasting, and almsgiving, with the idea that these practices will become part of the fabric of our lives beyond these 40 days. To find God's joy, we must go beyond simplistic, superficial practices that don't touch our hearts or our lifestyles. One day, a man walked into a bar and ordered 3 beers. He sat down at a table by himself and proceeded to down his brews. This routine was repeated daily. One day, the bartender worked up his courage and walked over to the man and said, "I hope you don't think I'm prying, but why do you order 3 beers together every day?" "Oh," said the man, "I don't mind you asking. You see, my 2 brothers and I used to share a beer after work every day. When the mill closed, we had to leave our town and we each headed in different directions to find our fortunes. But we vowed that we would drink 3 beers each day, 1 for each of us, to keep our bond alive." One day the man came in and ordered only 2 beers. A murmur spread across the entire bar. The bartender came over to his table and said, "I'm so sorry that one of your brothers has passed away. What happened?" "Oh no, my brothers are fine. You see, it's just that I myself gave up drinking beer for Lent." rather than approach Lent in a similar fashion, I think we'd be much better off embracing Pope Francis's fasting recommendations for Lent. These fasts, combined with positive actions, are definitely more difficult than giving up something trite like chocolate or beer, but they will make a true difference in our lives and in the lives of those around us. They will bring us closer to God and His kingdom. Pope Francis suggests that we fast from hurting words and say kind words. Fast from sadness and be filled with gratitude. Fast from anger and be filled with patience. Fast from pessimism and be filled with hope. Fast from worries and trust in God. Fast from complaints and contemplate simplicity. Fast from pressures and be prayerful. Fast from bitterness and fill your heart with joy. Fast from selfishness and be compassionate to others. Fast from grudges and be reconciled. Fast from words and be silent so you can listen. So let us rend our hearts and not our garments. May we go beyond pious platitudes and good intentions and focus on some daily concrete practices that will make our Lent fruitful. During these 40 days, let us grow closer to Christ and serve one another with deeper love. And then, embraced by the Lord and guided by the Holy Spirit, may we emerge at Easter as a renewed people. Let us help and pray for one another. God bless.